Okay. I see we have some viewers. Oh, and now we have some comments coming up. Sandy. Hello, good morning. In Michigan. Who else is joining us today? Let's hear some comments. I'm in a public place, so you may not hear me so well. Rusty in Texas, welcome. Linda, Liba, Davida, Gutvach. Thank you, yes. Lynn, Long Island, good morning. Joseph, also in New Jersey, welcome. Eugenia, Snowden in Calgary. Lisa's in West Virginia joining us. In Morocco, Rabbi, good afternoon. In Wisconsin, Daniel is joining us. Boulder, Colorado, Celeste, or better known as Chava. Welcome. Jane is in the Philippines. Good evening. Fred in Uganda has joined us. I'm in a public place on my way back to Montreal. So things have been a little schedule-wise disruptive, but there's no disruptions in life. It's one beautiful flow. Blessings all the way. Who else is joining us? Thank you, Chava. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jane. Thank you. What do you do when you don't feel inspired? What do you do when you know the truth, but the truth can't motivate you? What do you do when your prayers become kind of rote and there isn't a flame of your soul on fire in your prayers? Or just regular day seems to be a very challenged and difficult, having a zest for life. We have learned the idea that we need to be always full of joy. But there are times that we're just, we're just not feeling it. Times, it could be a lot of times. Hopefully not. If we're learning enough Tanya, then it shouldn't be. But there will be times that we're not going to feel a zest. We're not going to feel exuberance. We're not going to feel in prayer connecting. We're going to feel we're saying a bunch of words. And we need to have a constant joy, a joy of being connected to God that will give us the capability to struggle in the struggles of life. But if we don't feel it, and we're feeling, again, the heart's exuberance, whether it's in prayer, whether it's in doing good, whatever it is, we're just not there. And we're kind of, whatever, blasé. So the Alter Rebbe introduces something very strong. One second. Give me a moment. I'm being called. Ooh, can't do that. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So what do? So the Alter Rebbe quotes from the Zohar. The Zohar gives a metaphor that when you take a big log and there's a fire and you put that big log into the fire, it doesn't catch. What do you have to do? You have to chop the log in half, in quarters, whatever it is, in order that it will be consumed by the fire. We all know that from camping. The same thing is, we have a fire in our soul. But we have a log sometimes, and that's called the body and the animal soul that is just seeking its own self-pleasure. Not like the righteous. The righteous have converted that log into a complete fire. They don't have a log that they're carrying around. They don't have a heavy, big, log that just the soul can't catch its fire onto it. I can't do it. That's what we're talking about. That's the metaphor. Of course, when our body is more refined, so it's smaller pieces, it can catch fire. The soul, its fire can ignite the body, and the body will, follow the way of the soul. That's the righteous. Like Hillel. Hillel Azakian, Hillel the elder, spoke about his body like it was not, like I'm going to do a favor to my body now to feed it. We don't feel that way. We're doing a favor. We're not doing a favor. It's me. In the Beinani and us, BIT, Beinani and training, it's me. That's the log. Sometimes that log is really big and heavy, and and what we need to do is to recognize that, and we have to chop that. What does it mean to chop it? So here the Alter Rebbe says, it means you have to bring down the body. That's the metaphor of the log. Not that the body is anything evil inherently in it, not at all. Its nature is negative. Its nature is just seeking its own end, its own pleasure, its own fulfillment, right? For its own sake, not for a higher sake, not for a higher purpose, right? It doesn't want to give pleasure. It wants to have pleasure, right? That's what the body wants. So that nature needs to be humbled. That's the idea. That's the idea of chopping it, is the idea of humbling the body. Okay, there's the line up. So we have to humble that body. And this is what the Alter Rebbe now introduces. This I strongly urge. No one try this who is with me unless you've already worked on yourself enough to humble yourself. Humble the body, that is. Because right now, most people, that's a very difficult task, and can go in the wrong direction, as we will learn. We're going to learn in these few lessons that how we could take that and really fall away from the truth and get kind of stuck in that negativity. But we're going to get there. So this is very important. It's important to learn about it because it's something that sometimes we need to do, and it is to be able to look at myself and know that even I have done tshuva, but if I'm feeling like very down and I'm not inspired, if I'm not living an inspired life or an inspired time or moment, right, then that means that body of mine is a big log that is not catching fire, and we need to humble it. So that recognition itself is really important. How we do it, the Alter Rebbe gives advice on how to do it. First of all, to look at ourselves not as the righteous, but look at ourselves as who am I, is that the animal soul is my first responder in life, and to recognize that, and to have a conversation with ourselves. We have to have a conversation with ourselves, which will be forthcoming on what that conversation should be. But the first is to recognize that I'm not that righteous person. And I'm carrying this part in me that is my first responder in life, is my body, right? And its desires, its needs. And then when we recognize that, I can talk to that to humble it and not allow it to control me. That's the idea we want over here. That its pleasure seeking should not be controlling me. Taming the animal instinct, right? As Alice says, right? That, and when we do that, oh, that's amazing. That's very powerful. Okay, I have to stop here because they're calling me. I'll be back shortly, back home. Regular schedule for Tanya, for everything, God willing, with God's help. And I'm looking forward. All right, folks, amazing to be able to connect. It's beautiful, as always. God bless you. Have an amazing, wonderful day. Thank you.